Well, well. Look what the Tressim dragged in. Professor Gale Decarius of Blackstaff Academy. Educator of the esteemed School of Illusion. A pleasure to remake your acquaintance.
You? A teacher? I'd hardly say you set the best example for impressionable young wizards.
I think it makes perfect sense. Who better to warn of the perils of misusing magic than someone who was once only a wayward sneeze away from destroying a mid-sized settlement?
Don't remind me of those terrible times, Mr. Decarios. My blood pressure has only just recovered.
I fear my students find me somewhat intimidating due to my, explosive former reputation. I seem to put the fear of the gods into them. Or the fear of Mystra, to be more specific. I surrendered the crown of Carsus to her, as I told you I would. And in return, she cured me of the orb at last. Even now, I struggle to put the feelings into words. It was like exhaling for the first time after holding my breath for so very long. Of course, I haven't clarified with my students that the orb is no longer a threat. The legend of my explosive capabilities is an excellent means of controlling a classroom. Too good, if anything. I spend most of my time trying to convince them how much fun the study of magic can be. But it'd be easier to crack a smile on an intellect devourer than some of my pupils.
Sounds dull as old brass. Wouldn't you rather be out on another adventure?
I confess, sometimes while marking a student's 5th attempt at explaining the principles of illusory materialization, a thought occurs to me. In fact, I've actually been considering writing down the story of our adventures. The true tale of our flawed but ultimately endearing troupe, and the trials and tribulations we overcame. I can hardly leave it to the likes of Volo to give a true account of our
I was
adventures.
thinking that.
And no one would believe him if he did.
That odious man truly frizzles my whiskers. Long-haired miniature dragon, he calls me. Tressim is much less of a mouthful.
And what of you? What are you making of this newfound lease of life we earned?
I found the love of my life. I'd say I'm pretty happy.
And I couldn't be happier for you. A fitting reward for the sacrifices you made in getting here. I've told my students plenty of tales about our escapades. You're something of a hero to them, you know? I'd be delighted to introduce you to my current cohort as a guest lecturer, perhaps. I'm sure they'd have plenty of questions for you.
But of course, I can't think of anything better to let loose on a room of impressionable apprentices.
Well, I, for one, can't wait. And I say with some confidence, neither can they. Of course, you'll be most welcome to stay with me in my tower. My apologies, Tara. That would be our tower. It will give us plenty of time to catch up on your adventures. I'm very curious to know what you've been up to these past months. But I suspect the telling of that tale would keep you tied to me all evening. So, in the spirit of selflessness, I encourage you to mix and mingle for now, with time enough to come.
learned much under these very skies. Such pleasure to see them once more.
Interesting.
There's something strange
What
in your
the
old
hell is
friend's
that in your mouth for?
What is it?
What do you got there, Scratch?
A familiar invitation. He wants you to throw the object he's dropped. But it isn't a ball. It's the astral prism.
Where the hells did you find this, boy?
He whines. Less talk, more throw.
Come here. I'm so glad with this remember to invite my favorite companion.
Scratch barks merrily in something like agreement.
I wonder if the owlbear is still around somewhere. Still got a few people to talk to, but I'm gonna look around for the owl. You're gonna burn your seat. Oh, and then there's also Withers here. Oh, he has his little... Okay. This is where he's been staying.
This one night is like any other, and yet different. Thou art the savior of Baldur's Gate, until such time it requires saving again. How dost thou feel?
I can't help but feel some things have been left undone.
If thou could only see the paths of fate untaken, thy mind would surely break. Be glad of thy chosen path. It is, after all, thine. Enjoy the revelry of the day. Thou deservest at least that much.
Now we'll return to the party. So I come and I talk to him when I'm done. Got it.
There you are, my friend. Breathe deep. Can you smell it?
Your armor looks familiar. Breathe deeply and take in the scents around you. +3.
You take in every scent the night breeze carries. Sweet honeysuckle, tender violets, and an earthy fragrance you can't quite recognize.
I noticed the scent of sulfur. It's awful. Is that you?
By the good gods. How bad do I reek? Ugh, shit. Dried devil's blood. Stinks like a skunk squatting in an aboleth's corpse. No wonder. Karlak and I have felled enough cambions to build a fortress with their horns. Who'd have thought that just one of those fiends held the key to escaping Avernus for good? One of them sported a map and some blueprints. If you want all the gory details, Karlak can fill you in.
She did. How you been faring without your warlock powers?
I think the splinters I made out of the last bone devil I saw speak for themselves. Not to pat myself too hard on the back, but I'm not such a bad ranger if I do say so myself.
Have you had any time to visit your father?
I've seen him more than a few times, and he's as proud of me as I am of him. He's leading the city's renewal, opened the gates to all newcomers, rebuilt the council from scratch. And he's back in his element, commanding the Flaming Fist with brave heart and no shortage of empathy. The likes of Gortash can bend people's minds with a few chosen words. No tadpole needed. Bane's Chosen primed the Fist for a war they weren't meant to win. He convinced them there was an assassin hiding in every shadow, that cruelty was the correct answer to crisis. With a few exceptions, fathers pardoned every last Fist. If my forgiveness not be Tyr's will, so be it. I shall forgive them all the same. His words, not mine. He still believes in the bow and the blade, but with Floric's help, he's teaching the Fist a new lesson. Valor is found not in the wounds you inflict, but in the lives that you have bettered. May they all take it to heart.
I've missed traveling with you. You were a pleasure to be around.
I've missed you too. The rush of battles we fought, the heart-to-hearts, the nights around the fire, the comfort of knowing I didn't face the unknown alone. If I had to do it all over again, and I'd rather not, to be clear, I can't imagine not having you at my side. Well, that's enough hell talk for the moment. The night's young. You shouldn't go wasting it. Or wasting any of the wine for that matter. I plan on downing half a bottle myself. Oh, did I say half a bottle? I meant half a dozen.
What's the chest? Chest of grateful words. Oh, okay. We're gonna get to that in a moment. Oh, that's gonna make this video too long. I'm probably already gonna have to shorten the video, or cut the video up into sections. I expected all this to be in one video, but it may not. Here,
Well now, you can make yourself presentable when you have a mind to.
that makes one of us.
Oh, forgive me. I am simply excitable. It is good to be out under an open sky once more. My first, since the reconstruction began. We left quite a mess behind. But the city begins to look something like itself once more. Same twisting alleys for purse pickers. Same wooden buildings ready to get burnt by next year's dragon. Same cisterns overflowing. Huh.
I had heard rumors the upper city was destroyed beyond reconstruction.
The upper city has been almost entirely rebuilt. That's where the gold is. Even the builder's scaffolds are cleared from the streets. No dust left to sneeze at. Baldurians simply get on with it. Stubbornness, civic spirit, plain stupidity. Perhaps all three. But nothing I will sniff at any longer. Harpers have come from half the world over to lend aid. Farmers, masons, healers. My own son, Jord, has been wooed to their ranks. Already he plans crop cycles in Worm's Crossing. Not so for my daughter. Ryan's rejoined the Flaming Fist. Temporarily, you understand. To organize the craftsmen. Though she spends more time locking up comrades for pocketing aid funds. They might learn a thing or two, if they don't expel her. Again.
All well and good, but what about you? I want to hear what you've been up to.
There is still much to do. People to house, a Harper network to rebuild. I may have little love for this city, but so long as my family chooses to serve it, I can do no less. But I see the flush in your cheeks when I speak of family. Perhaps you mean to start one of your own. Oh, I don't want to watch over a blood match where the duelists call me auntie. Just be careful, Bowspawn.
If I just have one, they'll have no one to duel.
All right, Baal child. It is true you are no longer what you were. You have done well for yourself. For all your travels, I hope you have arrived where you want to be. Home. Whatever that means to you.
My home is with Shadowheart.
Ah, sentiment. With the greatest affection, I can think of better ways to sour our stomachs. I must inspect the refreshments. You'll never know. Some ne'er-do-well might have tampered with the wine.
What did you do?
Ah, it's the star of the show. Our humble protagonist who forsook Baal to save the city. Our skeletal friend will be very pleased to see I found my way here, despite my invitation getting lost in the post.
Uh-huh. It's wonderful to see you, Volo. How have you been, you pompous...
Busy as ever. Better that than the reverse, wouldn't you say? Every major publishing house on the Sword Coast has been vying for my upcoming book on the subject of our adventures together. I've gotten quite good at replicating your signature, so you needn't even bother with the release form. You might help me with the title, though. I'm considering The Hero and Me. What do you think?
You could capitalize on history repeating itself. How about the Ball Spawn 2?
Come now, you don't want to be seen as a mere sequel. Perhaps, once the manuscript is finished, you'd even be willing to write a foreword? Or better yet, I'll write a draft and you can just sign your name. Better still, I'll sign it for you. Ah, your success
Stop
really has been wonderful for my reputation.
forging
But you mustn't
my
let me hold
signature.
your attention all night, my friend. You've many friends to chat to, and I'd love to listen in.
Okay. Give me Shadowheart. I love that
Expect
outfit.
to be nervous, but seeing everyone here like this, it's strange, isn't it? I feel like I must have dreamed
No.
the last few months. Now I'm waking up back in camp with my hair smelling like wood smoke and fallen leaves stuck to my backside.
Your backside is just fine. Trust me, I've been checking regularly.
Oh, I've noticed. Ever since I first slipped into my camp garments, I should think. I hope we won't seem terribly boring to everyone when they ask what we've been doing this past while. A cottage in the countryside. They may have been expecting something more... well, more.
We are a couple. It's our duty to bore them to tears with details of our adorable home life.
True. They might even be jealous of the bucolic life. Perhaps every adventurer secretly pines for a little flower-strewn cottage overrun with animals.
When you put it like that, we could open a guest house.
Oh, gods no, that sounds awful. They'd drag mud everywhere and eat us out of house and home. It's fine. Already passed. Shal must have sensed I was enjoying myself.
She should try it herself sometime.
She'd probably break out in hives. But enough about Shah and her petty barbs. We're here to see old friends and enjoy ourselves. So let's do just that. Why, I feel better already. Are you trying to make me sleepy? You know how easily I get lost in your arms.
Aww. I'll go take a look around. Be back soon, I promise.
Have fun. Just don't wear yourself out too quickly. I'm anticipating a long night ahead of us.
So I don't know if, since the owlbear died in battle, is it dead? If it is, that sucks. But we also never really gave it a name either.
A beautiful night. I wish it could
I think that was everybody. I think I spoke. Oh, I didn't speak to Halson. I always found Halson kind of boring though, so that's probably why I haven't spoken to him. But okay.
You would think someone of my vintage would be inured to the passage of time. Yet these past 6 months have seemed endless without your company. But now, our paths cross once more.
Honestly, the time's flown by.
Perhaps that is so for you, but for me... It may be that a peaceful life after so many years of tumult has made me sentimental. I dwell upon what we shared. That bond was forged in a crucible that can never be stoked again, Oak Father willing. It is a bond that can weather any distance, any passage of time. I know it can, for I feel the longing for old friends in my heart each day.
You sound like you need a hug.
I always do. Should I ever decline, assume a doppelganger has taken my place. That was more than worth the wait.
Oh, that's quite a squeeze you put on me, Halson.
Apologies. You can probably understand my eagerness. I shall be as gentle as a feather next time. Now, we have much to catch up on. Do not allow me to ramble on. I am eager to hear all you've been doing.
You first. I want to hear about the life you've made, the people you've helped.
In that case, very well. Our community grows rapidly. In 6 months, we have turned what was once a shadowy wasteland into a true home for all. In another 6 months, I would wager the scars of the past will be entirely invisible, even to those who remember them. The old masonry of Moonrise Towers and Rythwin have been repurposed into new homes, and the land is rich with harvests and bountiful trees. Nature and civilization are in harmony, stronger together.
I recall you have quite a few young wards to take care of. 9 wagons of them, wasn't it?
Ah, my greatest purpose and greatest reward. Those children have been through more than fate had any right to cast at them, and yet they go on as resilient as anything in nature. I impart what knowledge I can to them, yet, in truth, they teach me far more. The land we saved is theirs, and they will cherish it, I'm sure. Thaniel and Oliver shall never want for friends again.
My turn, I suppose.
Please, spare no details. I shall not lie. I have an ulterior motive in wishing to hear all. It is the children, you see. My charges. Their appetite for bedtime tales is greater than I could ever have anticipated. Another story, Daddy Halsin. Another is the chorus that greets me each nightfall. They have all but exhausted my repertoire in but a few short months. No mean feat given the lifetime I have lived. I desperately need new material, please. My reputation is at stake.
Go talk to Volo, dude. Like, he give you all the stories you need. Alright, let me see what I have.
I am all ears. Though I never cared for that phrase. A rather unsettling image.
You're not wrong. I'll just go ahead and tell him the truth.
You have kept yourself busy. I expected no less in truth. I shall be able to keep the children enthralled for a few more nights yet, thanks to you. And should you wish to retell of your exploits in person, well, I shall not object to a night off. Now, it would be cruel of me to hoard you all to myself for the evening, as much as I would like to. I shall leave you to the others for now, unless there was anything else.
What of the Grove? Do you still stay in touch?
On occasion, but I prefer not to interfere. Francesca of the High Forest is Archdruid now, and by all accounts, she has proven to be a steady and wise influence. Even Korga may yet find true balance, thanks to her influence.
I'm gonna leave.
Before you go, I have something for you. Just a little keepsake, really. Do you remember how I told you I like to whittle? I made this. Ducks are my favorite, but I thought they were particularly fitting in this case. They are migratory birds, of course, traveling far and wide with the turn of the seasons. Yet, they always find their way back to where they belong. Just like old friends find themselves back in each other's company.
You're a sentimental creature at heart, you know that?
Oh, I am well aware, trust me. Now, I've taken up enough of your time. Go on. Enjoy the festivities.
This seems pretty red, but... no.
Alright. Hey, she's joining the group. Yay, go Shadowheart. You still got Clive! I saw that, Karlach. It was quick, but I saw that. How do you not burn him up?
Look at this place. At us. This is the best party I've ever been to.
Alright, now I have to spend the time to read these letters, and there is a lot of them. To the hero of the realm, we have followed your adventures closely. From the day you fell from that doomed nautiloid to the final blow you struck the nether brain as it loomed over the Sword Coast, we are but a humble guild who pride ourselves in telling stories, not unlike the tales to be written of you for many years to come. How inspired we have been to witness your feats, awesome and terrible, the lives you saved and sundered, the friendships you found. Thus we thought to extend a greeting, a thank you, for adventuring with such creative determination, such panache, enough to touch the hearts of each of our number. With deepest gratitudes, the Guild of Great Genius. To whom it may concern, Withers gave me this address and said I could consider writing thus an update. The Iron Hand gnomes are nearly beyond help, but I've managed to yoke them into something resembling a coherent force for innovation. We've been hired to assist in the city's reconstruction. Our steam-powered object moderations are helping to move building supplies in every part of the city. It's nothing, really. I am well, I trust you are too. We deserve it. After all, don't we? Bacchus Root.
I'd take rat over this any day.
To an old acquaintance, I write to you from the sunny porch of the Last Light Inn. A light breeze blows now and then. People are milling in and out, builders, visitors, the children of all ages, in Halsin's care. I can no longer hold a quill or eat without assistance. A kind friend in transcribing this for me. Thaniel, rejoined with Oliver, has promised to be with me when the end comes, and as our old songs drift on the wind even louder, I know I have mere days left, but I do not fear it. If not for your help, this land would still be shrouded in darkness, and I'd still be lost within. Know that my heart is full and happy, and I am grateful for my last moments. Do visit someday, and if you have time to stop by an old Flaming Fist grave, I know I'd love to see you. Art Kellogg. Hero of Baldur's Gate, vanquisher of the Absolute, the city is forever in your debt. For without your valor, your audacity, your sacrifice, it would not know renewal. It is not temples and inns and homes that I speak of, but hearts. Baldur's Gate can never be the city it was before it suffered the Absolute's touch, and that is as it should be. The survivors have borne witness to their homes near destruction. They have come to regret turning a blind eye to the cruelty Gortash disguised as safety and security. And they understand, just as I have come to understand, that trust, compassion, and unity are the foundations of Baldur's Gate. Our gates are open once more to the disowned and displaced. The Flaming Fist will learn to be true servants of the people, and I will devote myself to ridding the gate of the shameful fears that allow evil to enter our homes and sit at our table. Yours, Oldo Ravengard. Hey you, it's Arabella. You remember me, right? Bowman once said I needed to find balance, where creation meets ruin, where morning meets midnight, the roots of all being, fancy talk, you know. He was right, though. After I touched that idol in the grove, it was like a big tree started to grow in my head. And all these weird thoughts and feelings and powers sprouted from its branches, like big black leaves. I had to figure myself out, so I followed the weave, like Bone Man said. I don't know how I knew what to do, I just did. After you squished the brain, Beardman showed up, said the weave led him to me and me to him. He's teaching me how to make sense of all those leaves in my head tree. He says I need to use magic responsibly. He also says not to call him Beardman. Anyway, I'll let you know how it goes. My friend, no, my darling. Greetings from Menzoberranzan, where the blood you so kindly traded me is ready to play its part in resurrecting the glorious House of Blodra. From the moment I saw you, I knew you had power, and I knew that I could harness it. I knew that it could be mine. Soon I will descend into the abyss my people call the Claw Rift, searching for my lost house in its depths. Will it be dangerous? Oh yes, most dangerous. But don't fear, darling. Your strength will see me through. I will find the ruins of my house, and when I emerge again, it will be as the matron mother of a house reborn. All thanks to you. All thanks to the power in your blood. Until we meet again, my darling. Araj Ablodra, master of the sanguine arts. Letter from Sebastian. After so long in a vampire cell, I'd almost forgotten how to write. Never mind what to write. But what can you say to the person who unlocked your cage and gave you your life back? Or gave us some kind of life at least? After you killed Cazador and opened our cells, we fled into the Underdark. There were thousands of us, a ravenous wave, mad with freedom and out for blood. And gods did we find blood. We swarmed every monster and unfortunate in our path, drinking what we could. We lost hundreds along the way, some to beasts, but most just disappeared into the dark. It was not easy, but eventually Cazador's house spawn calmed us and took control. They found some old ruins we could call home, and we've been there ever since, building new lives for ourselves. We're not free down here. The dark will chain us forever, but we aren't the prisoners we once were either. And that's thanks to you. You looked in our cages and saw people, not monsters. And here, down in the shadows, we're trying to live up to that. Thank you now and forever, Sebastian. Dear friend, I doubted you for so long. Perhaps you knew that already, in spite of my best attempts. You proved yourself time and again, at Joachim's Rest, and Moonrise Towers, and Worm's Rock, and still I doubted. The Netherbrain's defeat should have proven your courage, yet I was more doubtful than ever. This was a ruse, a dream, a trick. And then one eve, from the elf song I heard it, singing Arash's lewd, tuneless, drunken refrain. I'd never heard anything more terrible and more beautiful. I raised my voice and joined the chorus. That was the moment all my doubts melted away and replaced with something more valuable. Hope. Baldur's Gate will be whole again. I might have doubted you, but you never did. With profound admiration, Floric. To the spawn Astarian, greetings from the family of Ulma, hunters of monsters and keepers of peace across Faerun. We know this letter finds you well, for although we hunt you no longer, we do sometimes keep a watch. Your restraint and control over your bloodlust has been admirable. Indeed, it has been an inspiration for our children who have struggled with their own hunger. These last months have been a difficult time for our people. We have protected and nurtured our children as best we can, and we have learned much. Herbs we once used to dull our foes' minds are now sedatives to ease hunger and pain. Restraints built to hold the undead now protect them from themselves. There has been a lot of pain, but a lot of progress too. Our children learned discipline and control, while we learned compassion and patience. There was a time when we would have destroyed any undead creature, our own blood or not, and called it a mercy. But then we met you. We saw that redemption was possible. Difficult, yes. Painful, but possible. You saved our children first from Cazador and then from us. For that we thank you. We will watch you still, but with more admiration than fear. Walk in peace, Astarian. Elvira! I've lost count of how many times I've started this letter, and so I'm just going to get straight to it. I heard what you are, and what you've overcome. I saw murder in your eyes when you looked at me, but you stayed your hand, didn't you? I'm not going to tell you where I am for obvious reasons, but I'm safe, I'm happy, and I'm not wasting a second of the life you spared. Thank you. With love and forgiveness, Alfira. Hey there. Would you mind passing this on to Karlak? Thanks a mill. Karlak, if you're reading this, you're alive. One way or another, you found a way. Thank the gods. I think of you often, wondering what's become of you. Write to me, won't you? Please? Yours faithfully, Damon. Gil, my boy, I can only apologize for my absence from Wither's little gathering. As you know, only the most urgent of business would keep me from indulging myself in his excellent taste in sweetmeats, and your esteemed company, of course. I was delighted to hear that you came to your senses with regards to that cursed crown, and delighted yet further when I learned that the orb's malingering presence no longer poses any threat. In that sense, at least, I hope you feel Mr. treated you fairly. I trust you're enjoying your adventures. I have to say, I struggle to picture you outside of Waterdeep, or your library for that matter. Wherever your escapades take you, be sure to keep your larder well provisioned. After all, one never knows when an old friend might
Cool,
drop
fresh
by.
air. By the living
Elminster.
gods, I needed it.
Dear Shadowheart, I hope that you are happy and well. I must keep this short as I remain surrounded by Shah's followers at almost every waking moment in my new enclave. I dearly wish for you to enjoy your night spent with old friends, and I hope that you and I shall share such a reunion. I know it must seem strange for me to dwell on such heretical thoughts, yet I cannot help myself. Perhaps one day I shall find some measure of the bravery that you did and walk away from this life. Until then, I shall keep safe and hold memories of you as one ember of light amid an ocean of darkness. Until we find each other once again, yours always, Nocturne. Salutations! I'm writing to request your help in a mysterious case that has arisen since our little Balian bash a half-year ago. Regrettably, I've had to take the credit for dispelling the Ball cult, in your absence, you understand, and I'm working on rooting the remaining Ballas from our fair city. This has made me a target. A false document bringing my name into ill repute has been made public. An alleged unpaid bard tab at the Elf Song. If you happen to be passing through with a bundle of coin, perhaps you can persuade management of my obvious innocence. Much obliged. Investigator Valeria, Sleuth of Helm. P.S. Any advice on getting Ballas blood out of cloth? My hat has not been the same since the murder tribunal. Githyanki script Tirsu adorns one side of the page. The other is written in common tongue. Shilak! Orphis might not be with us, but the comet shines ever bright. Breath by breath, battle by battle, Vlaakith's death draws nearer. I have taken to the astral plane, slaughter all who must be slaughtered, and spread the air's truth to every possible ear, willing or unwilling. Many Githyanki have already taken up arms as warriors of the comet. Others have remained in their enclave or traveled to creches, dedicating themselves to our causes, scribes, spies, and slate scholars. But our allies do not all call themselves children of Gith. Zereth Minyar Agith, the Githzerai's God King, has requested an audience. There was a time I would have thought such a coalition unspeakable, but with the Githzerai at our side, not even the full force of the Kithiraki could stop us. If Vlaakith is to fall, perhaps the two skies must again be made one. Voss, reverent call to Orpheus, Knight of the Comet. I had a dream last night. Not that there are any nights here, or any days. It was a dream about you, all of you, and you were here with me. Nights of bread and jam and oat crackers and cheeses and enough tea to quench a desert. You nibbled and sipped and smiled and laughed, and you asked if I was happy. Nobody has asked that for so long that I don't know if anyone has ever asked at all. I don't have the words to answer, so instead I led you through my house and showed you all the souls that are here with me. They were Raphael's once, but now they only belong to themselves. The archive is an art gallery, the boudoir is a grand kitchen, and the dungeon is a refuge for any wounded soul or creature that finds its way to us. Am I happy? I don't know. But I am hope, and I persist because of you. Thought I'd reach out first for once. I finally had my baby, a beautiful boy. I can't believe I ever thought of giving him up. He screams his head off half the night, and I've barely slept, but I'm the happiest I've ever been. Other than my wedding day, of course. I decided to name him Connor after his father. With Ethel gone, myself and some other hag survivors have started our own publishing house. We've only printed a few pamphlets so far, but I'm halfway through my first book. Me, an author. It's like something out of a dream. Mind you, it's all about how to kill hags, but you know what they say, right? What you know. With every pamphlet we publish, more people show up to our support groups. As happy as that makes me, it breaks my heart to see how much harm Ethel did. But as long as I live, another hag won't set foot in Baldur's Gate. You have my word. Anyway, the reason I'm writing isn't just to talk your ear off. It's to say thank you for saving a scared young girl who thought she'd be a terrible mother. I couldn't have been more wrong. Next time we meet, pints are on me. Marina. I'm not much for leaving my city, but it does gladden the girl's heart to be asked to the ball, so I'll thank you for that. In my place, except a few casks of fine vintage that managed to roll their way down from the upper city into all the commotion. I don't know how I got there. The rebuilding has given rise to many such happy opportunities worth discussing over a more civilized drink in my guild hall if you find yourself at the loose end. Enjoy the muck and see if you can get the High Hopper to sing. You won't be disappointed. 9 fingers. I hope my penmanship has improved somewhat in the past months. When I first stumbled into the city, I shook so badly that I could scarcely hold the soup the priest pressed into my hand, let alone write a thank you as you deserve. It is only when the city itself began to shake that I felt my hands grow still, along with the other veterans sheltering at the temple, discards of Elturel's unworthy legion. I watched that monstrosity rise over the city. We felt no fear, only anger, disgust, purpose, and with it, power. I don't know what oath we cling to now, or how long it will last, but we shall use it to ensure that this city will not suffer as Elturel did. Whether it wants us or not, it is more than thanks alone I owe. No words can make amends for what I did to my people, but that is as it should be. More come to the temple every day to aid in the relief efforts, and if I am permitted to work alongside them, I am content. Come and see us when you can. Zevlor. My friend. Who is this? I don't remember this person. I hope this finds you wherever you are. I just wanted to thank you and ask a favor. I'm to be made a watcher. The High Hopper put me forward to the Hopper Council for service to the city. I'm not sure what that means, but I know that if it wasn't for you, I'd be back mucking out my mother's yard. I am permitted to bring one guest to the ceremony, who will name me Watcher before the council. You spoke for me once before. I understand you're probably busy, but I would be honored if you would do it again. I await your reply, whenever you can, but hopefully soon. Hopper Geraldus. Missive from the Emperor. My ally, inefficient as written communication is, it will suffice to cover the distance between our minds these days. I write to express my regret that I will not attend your celebration, though I thank you for thinking of me. I have not forgotten you. As I move to restore my influence, I shall be sure to call upon you when the need arises. And I hope that you will respond to such a call. Ours was a beneficial partnership, and I see no need to curtail further opportunities to collaborate. Your friend, the Emperor. Alright, now we get to go talk to our other friend over here and tell him we are done with the festivities and see what he has to say.
Yes?
I think I've caught up with everyone. What comes next?
What indeed? Prick up thy ears and listen. The balance of the world restored. The balance of these lives, mortal and otherwise, brought to account. Hear me, thou heroes, wastrels, friends. I have waited long to tell you these words. It is over. For now. Thou played thy part in weaving the fabric of fate itself, but for every thread you sewed, so did the gods unravel another. Sleep, rest, revel, but be ready. For thou mayst yet be needed. Until we meet again, I wish thee every possible fortune, health, wealth, love, and above all, problems worth solving.
To all of you, my real family.
To you.
Hero of the Forgotten Realms. Well, thank you, everybody. And so concludes our story of Baldur's Gate 3. I'm not sure what we're going to be doing next in the game. I am going to be trying for the Platinum Trophy. I hope that I record enough of that for it to matter. I've already been trying a little bit on the harder difficulty to see if I can, but I'm still pretty early on in the game. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. I have been. I hope it's up to snuff for YouTube, you know? Anyway, I guess I will be seeing you all later, hopefully. And if you liked the video, hit that like button. And if you wish to see whatever comes next, because I don't even know what comes next at this point, subscribe. Who knows? I have about a dozen games here besides Baldur's Gate that I've been dying to play, but I'm not sure what I'm going to go with next. It might actually be Lords of the Fallen, or if I get my internet fixed to where I can start streaming more, I might go back into Elden Ring again. I actually missed that game, and I've never finished it because my internet just died on me. We went to a really, really bad company, but that's because we moved. So I had to stop playing the game, and I'm still missing it. I gotta play with my friends. They're also missing it. I also have Origami sitting on the side. Neo 2. I got quite a few games laying around that I have yet to play because other games get in the way. But I did have fun. We'll see what's next. Merry Winter Evenings to everybody. I do believe it's still. I believe this will still post while Winter Evenings is going on. So, if it does, I made it. That was my goal. Get this done by Winter Evenings. If not, I mean, that means I failed. But I did finish it. So, anyway, I will see you all next time. And I hope you have a wonderful time till then. Bye-bye.
There thou art, the dead three. Thy faces gods, thy actions barely worthy of the name. Didst truly believe thy ploy would succeed? Didst believe I would not notice? Thou soughtst to bolster thy strength by taking away the souls of mortals. But souls vanish when their hosts become mind flayers. Didst think the other gods would not notice? Gods thou may be, yet thou hast proven thyself fools, everyone. The supplication of Bane, the whimper of Baal, the death mule of Merkel. Felled by mortals, I overestimated thee. They did not. Vermin, away. Thou wilt trouble us no more.